Hey everybody, how's it going? We're building Augment OS. Augment OS is the operating system and app store for smart glasses. It's open source, it supports multiple pairs of existing hardware devices, and it's available now. So the first major unlock that Augment OS provides is the ability to build cross-compatible third-party applications. Cross-compatible means that you can write one app, and it runs on multiple different pairs of smart glasses. And third-party means that it's not just one person or company making that application. It can be made by different people and different companies, and they can be closed source or open source. So this is very good for users, because that means that users can now install new applications onto their smart glasses. As a lot of you probably have seen today, the kind of normal way that things work is that somebody buys a pair of smart glasses, and the only applications that they can access are the apps that were built by the company who built those glasses. And what we're making it possible to do is we're making it possible for users to download new apps on the glasses, which of course users are excited about, but developers are just as excited about this. Because now developers can write that one app, and it runs on multiple different pairs of glasses. And it doesn't matter if their users are on iOS or if their users are on Android, because they just write that same single app. And that's largely enabled by our cloud OS. Augment OS is a cloud OS, and so the architecture is that the glasses will connect to the phone, and the phone connects to the cloud, or the glasses can connect directly to the cloud. And then the logic and the applications and the AI is all running in the cloud. And now developers just write one simple web application, and that's able to run on all different pairs of smart glasses. The second major the second major unlock that Augment OS is providing is proactivity and context. So we don't think that the applications that are going to be massively successful on smart glasses are the same as the apps that were massively successful on smartphones. Phones are very discrete. We have this discrete list of applications. We click them, we open them up when we need them, we interact, we do our thing, and then we close them again and we're done. But we don't think that that's how smart glasses apps are going to work. And to illustrate that, why don't we just do a little day in the life wearing smart glasses to see why. So imagine you're maybe a foreign visiting student in a foreign country, and you're sitting in class one day, and the professor mentions some technical concept that you haven't heard of before. In that moment, we want the definer app, the definer agent, to spin up on our glasses and provide us with the definition overlaid on our vision. Then maybe you're walking into the hallway, and you mention to your friend some Instagram post that you read last night. Right in that moment, your fact checker agent spins up proactively, and it actually fact checks what you're telling you and prevents you from spreading misinformation. Then you take a step into the hallway, and maybe one of the local workers starts speaking to you in the local language, which you don't understand, but the translation agent spins up and gives you translation overlaid on your vision. And then you're walking out of school, heading outside, and your Uber app detects that you're leaving the campus and that you have a calendar event in 15 minutes, and so it calls you an Uber that's ready for you out at the door. And so many of us believe in this future and are excited about this future, but it's obvious that if we want that future to happen, we need multiple applications to be able to access our context at the same time. Those apps don't necessarily need to be showing you information all the time. We just talked about Uber. Uber might only show up on your glasses once or twice a week. But we do need those applications to be able to access your context all the time. And so what Augment OS enables is it enables multiple apps to run at the same time, to access your sensor context at the same time, and then to proactively spin themselves up when they would be most useful to you, to proactively activate themselves when they would be the most useful. So today we're going to talk about what Augment OS is, we're going to talk about how it works, and we're going to talk about how you can interact with it today and the future we see for the Smart Glasses OS. And since we're so obsessed with utility, we're obsessed with apps, we're obsessed with real-world use, we're going to start by looking at the apps ecosystem around Augment OS. And so I'm going to pass it off to Israelov and Nicolo to tell you a little bit about that.
Thank you, Cayden. Augment OS has lots of apps. And the basic ones are basically what you'd expect. You have live captions, live translations, your phone notifications, And for these basic apps, we make them no frills and work really, really well. And this is because our biggest single group of users are people who are deaf or hard of hearing. They use our live captions app all day, every single day, to help them through their daily lives. But live captions sometimes falls short. While it's really good at helping these deaf users understand spoken words, they don't always help deaf users understand non-speech sounds. And the world is filled with useful audio information that is not speech. For example, a car going by, or a doorbell ringing, or a dog barking. So to solve this, we've built an app called Soundy. Soundy listens to the user's environment, and it brings up, whenever it detects a sound, on the wearer's smart glasses. So next time one of our deaf users doesn't hear their doorbell ring, they'll see it on their glasses. But there can't be a smart glasses app ecosystem without a way of discovering smart glasses apps. Historically, this has been a very big jumbled mess. You know, we've had these one-off GitHub projects, we've had academic studies, we've had manufacturer apps that ship with glasses and only work with their own glasses, and that's if they work at all. So to solve this, we've built an app store specifically for smart glasses apps. It's called the Augment OS store, and it's the only app store specifically designed for smart glasses apps in mind. And many of the apps on our Augment OS store are proactive by design. Like Cayden was saying, this means these apps don't require explicit user input to perform actions for the user. They just act automatically. Take our Notes app, for example, which automatically saves to-dos, reminders, and other notes on behalf of the user. For example, last weekend, I was having a conversation with a friend of mine about the best local speech recognition models that have been coming out over the past few months. And after our conversation ended, my Notes app had saved all the models we talked about together so that I could then go and do more research later. For other proactive apps like Merge, I'm going to pass this off to Nicolo.
Okay, thank you. Sorry, it's a bit bright up here. Can you hold my mic 1 second? Okay, way better. Thanks. Maybe. Thanks. Okay, let's keep going. So, beyond Notes, we built multiple apps that follow this proactive paradigm. One example is Merge. Merge will listen to all of your conversation and provide you with help right when you need it. For example, 1 week ago, we were building our iOS client for our AugmentOS app, and one of my colleagues asked, how many people use iPhone in the US anyway? I didn't know the answer off the top of my head, but Merge was quick on his feet to give me the answer I needed. One other app that I use daily is Link. I've been learning Chinese for a while, and whenever I have conversations with native speakers, there's always going to be words that I don't understand. And Link will provide me with the translations for the words that I don't know, so that I can always keep conversation flowing. Now, I can use AugmentOS also to help me stay on top of my schedule. A few days ago, I was having a deep conversation with a friend when my calendar reminder app overlaid on my vision that I had a call in 5 minutes. I had just enough time to wrap up my conversation and get ready for my next meeting. AugmentOS also integrates with the platforms that you use daily, right? We all use X nowadays, and sometimes we just want to know how well our post is doing, right? Well, with our X integration, you can see overlaid on your vision the stats of your latest X post at all times, so that you'll no longer have to pull out your phone for the 10th time the same day just to check out your X. In addition to that, we're also building apps that help connect people together. This is why we're developing Hive. This is an app that you can use at an event with your friends, and it will provide you with summaries of the conversations that each of your friends are having. Say you're at a conference, and one of your friends is in a deep discussion about wearable research. One other is chatting with a VC about the latest funding trends, and one other is talking about edge computing. You can't be in the same place at once, but with Hive, you can decide where your attention is the most valuable and join that conversation. Now, here comes the best part. You don't have to wait for us to build the next great app, because you can build that app yourself. In fact, we developed the AugmentOS SDK that will enable you to easily build apps on top of our platform. And to dive deep into that, I will now pass it off to my teammate, Isaiah, who will explain us how it works.
Thank you, Nicolo. All right, listen, I'm a developer, so I understand the importance of having great dev tools. That's exactly why we built the AugmentOS SDK. The SDK is built in TypeScript, so you could build apps for smart glasses in minutes. It's super simple. Let's see how it works. First, head to our developer console. Then you could click Create App. Next, you just enter the information about the app that you want to make. When you click Create App, it'll give you an API key. We also have a GitHub repo that has a quick start template that makes it super simple to get going. All you have to do is enter your API key and your package name that you got from the dev console. It's also extremely powerful. Our SDK uses web technologies, so you could host a web server, and now any smart glasses that runs AugmentOS supports your app. And I know what you're thinking. You want control. AugmentOS in our SDK gives you control over the hardware. It easily lets you access raw mic data, send information to the display, and stream audio to the speakers. And the best part, it's completely open source. That means you could trust it, build on it, and we could build the future of smart glasses together. Next, I'd like to introduce Roger to talk about our amazing AugmentOS community.
So as an open source project, AugmentOS has a thriving and growing community. They're pretty active on Discord. We've got thousands of users where people can influence the future of our software and hardware. But some of the most important members of our community are the app developers. Since launching less than 2 months ago, we've got so many cool community apps that people have contributed. For example, someone made a sheet music playing app, or an app that helps you with tech interview questions, a swear jar app, a Twitch live stream app, a Pomodoro timer, a air quality app, and so much more. Clearly, people are super excited about the breadth of possibilities for giving yourself superpowers with AugmentOS. And today, we're going to add fuel to that fire by launching our new $100,000 AugmentOS ecosystem grant. So if you're a developer and you want to build something cool on AugmentOS, we are providing lots of small grants to make it really easy for you to buy hardware, for you to get hosting, or anything else you need in order to build your app. It's super easy to sign up. Just check out our website or check out the link right there. It's a very short form, and we'll get you started. Now, one of the things that makes AugmentOS so great and easy to develop for is that it's all web-based. So you can host your AugmentOS app on any web server you might have access to. If you don't have access to a web server, we're providing free hosting on various cloud providers for AugmentOS apps. For more information about that, contact us on our Discord or check out our website, and we'll get you started. Now, everyone's favorite way to develop apps, or at least my personal favorite way, is in person at a hackathon. So we're going to be hosting a couple big hackathons this summer, starting with the Mentra Live Hackathon focused on our new camera glasses this summer in San Francisco July 12th and 13th at the YC headquarters. That one's going to be really awesome. And then we're going to Hack MIT in September in Boston. At both of these hackathons, we're going to have hardware that you can demo and build apps on for free. We're going to have all of our engineering team there to help you out and get you started, and we're going to have some great prizes. So join us in person. We're going to have RSVP information available on our website and our Discord soon. So remember, Augment OS is not just some abstract project. We are a community of people trying to build the future of smart glasses. So join us however it works best for you, whether it's joining our Discord, contributing to our open source repo, building some cool apps, joining us in person at a hackathon, or however you like. Please join us for that future. Now, as far as joining us, we've got an amazing partner here. I'd like to introduce Nils to talk about what they're doing with spatial computing on Augment OS.
One of the things that really caught my attention about Augment OS was the team's understanding of needing shared context. I believe that whatever the next great personal computing platform is going to be the platform that lets us work the closest with AI. We want AI to be able to see what we see, hear what we hear, know what we know. And a very important piece of context for so much of what we do in our daily life is space. Augment OS is fully open source, which is amazing. And at Auki, we're building open source collaborative spatial computing that you can use together with Augment OS to do amazing things like what we're showing live on the conference floor down there, where, for example, in a retail environment, wearing a pair of Mentra Lives, a retail worker can snap a photo. The photo gets passed to our spatial AI that figures out precisely in 3D space where that task was taken, which in turn lets another AI figure out the context of the task that is created, and then finally creates a task on my phone, complete with AR guidance, to send me over to where this task was created. Spatial awareness is an incredibly important piece of context. And just as the Mentra guys have this amazing grant program, if you're building something that also involves space, Auki is happy to kick in some money too. We also have a grants program, and we think that you should be building open source with Mentra, with Auki, and build the next generation of smart glasses. Another amazing thing about what Mentra is doing is they pitched me back in the day saying, like, look, glasses were invented 800 years ago. But it wasn't until the 1920s that people started wearing glasses all day. What was it that happened in the 1920s? It wasn't the invention of Pokemon. It was that glasses were finally under 40 grams. We have 800 years of history that there's no point arguing with, that people won't wear a pair of glasses all day if they weigh more than 40 grams. I was incredibly excited to learn that a sixth of Mentra's users already wear them over 8 hours a day. This is phenomenal. I believe that this is going to be the fastest growing personal computing platform that we've seen in a very long time. We're very excited to be building on Augment OS and with you guys. So please come visit the booth, try the glasses, check out the demos, and build something with spatial awareness and contextual awareness for your AI agents. To wrap this up, I want to invite Cayden back on stage.
So that's Augment OS. That's the smart glasses operating system. It's definitely big, it's definitely ambitious, but if successful, it's going to define the next personal computing paradigm. And it's not going to be easy. There's a lot of players who want to win this, but the way they want to win it is not open, and it's not cross-compatible. And so we think it's worth fighting for. It's worth fighting to win this. And we think so because of the type of technology that's being built here. Smart glasses are going to augment our reality. Smart glasses will control what we see and control what we hear. And so we believe that it's imperative that smart glasses, and thereby our reality, is open, is cross-compatible, and is user-controlled. And that's why we're building AugmentOS. Thank you. Let's see if we have any minutes. So we have about 4 minutes. So if anybody has any questions, just put up your hand and we can answer.
Well, I was going to ask, like, what's the field of view in your displays?
So as an OS, we support multiple different pairs of glasses, and they have different field of views. And so we have some discoverability in the OS, so you can figure out what are the capacities of the glasses that are currently connected. Some of them might not even have a display at all. Some of them might be a camera and speakers and microphone. Some of them might have just a display and no speakers. So we make that discoverable by developers. If the ones we're wearing right now, this is one of our hardware partners, Even Realities, and they've got about a 25-ish degree field of view.
So what kind of privacy management is there for people to be able to control the conversations? Is it all being saved to the cloud? Is that being mined later for other opportunities?
Yeah, it's a great question. So there's a few layers of it. One of the things is just building a permission system into the OS so that an application can't access something that it hasn't told the user that it's going to access. That's one of the first things. Another thing is that we build in a privacy switch at the OS level that turns off all the sensors when you want to. So it's prominent in the OS. You can click off, and then all of those things are turned off. And then what we also want to move towards in the future, because we think there's going to be lots of applications that need lots of context, but they don't need it all the time. They need it based on your context. So we want to, we're adding a semantic permissioning system where you can specify when an application should be able to access your context. Maybe Uber shouldn't know, exactly where you're walking right now because you're out on a hike, but it probably is useful for it to know your location and calendar when you have something coming up soon. So in terms of saving the data, the last piece, by default, we're not saving any data, and people can opt into that for personalization. Now, when it comes to every individual app, that's going to be up to the people building the app. We encourage them to have some capability of giving users control, but every user gets to decide what app they run in the end.
Yeah, a current G1 user here. Thank you so much for what you're doing. I'm super excited. When is the iPhone OS version coming out for the app?
We already have a beta out on test flight, and then on June 20th, we're doing the AugmentOS 2.0 launch on the App Store and Google Play Store.
By doing the cloud approach, what do you think about latency? Is there like some class of experience that you're better suited for, and there's maybe gaming or some other applications that are harder to do with that latency?
Yeah, it's a great question, and we were fairly pragmatic with this because of just how things played out. Where if we look at, say, one of the things that people often talk about is speech recognition, because it's very common. It's actually baked into the OS. But still today, speech recognition is better to run in the cloud. If you want something that's high accuracy, then you end up sending it to the cloud. And so we found that it actually ends up being faster to run these things in the cloud right now. But of course, there's downsides, and as time goes on, there will be some models that make more sense to run on the edge. So in terms of, like, say, speech recognition, that might be something that in 6 months, when it improves enough that the edge models are good, we might move that onto the edge and then stream that up. But definitely, as we get more into the world of spatial computing with an actual augmented reality overlay, you're not going to be waiting 200, 300 milliseconds for your data, your IMU data and your camera data to get to the cloud and be processed and come back. And so we think that there's going to continuously be this gradient of compute from some things run in your glasses, some run on your phone or on some type of compute puck, and then some of it runs in the cloud. And what we really try to do is be pragmatic about, well, what glasses are possible to wear today, and what are they capable of? And let's have amazing support for that, and then continually add support as the technology improves. I think we're at time, so thank you so much, everybody. We'll be hanging around here afterwards, and we'd love to meet you all. Thank you so much.